Hi, this is Brian.
And this is Nikki from Silversun Pickups.
And you're watching Toasted.
Silversun Pickups, welcome to Paradiso, London calling.
So exciting.
Thank you.
Okay, real quick,
Hello.
Nikki, we were talking before we started this interview. And do you believe this to be true? That really hyper-intelligent people swear a lot, talk to themselves, and are really messy?
Yes.
Horrible people to be around with.
Yeah, terrible roommates.
You don't want to bring hyper intelligent people on tour, I guess, right?
Fuck no.
Yeah, F no.
Puritanical.
Hey guys, here in Paradiso, touring Europe. It's been a while for some countries, right? I read 2007 last time for Copenhagen, which is actually
Copenhagen for sure. We were only there with this band Kaiser Chiefs. They took us there, and it was so fun. And somehow just one of those things that happens with all of our European tours. Like you just routed in certain ways. I mean, we always hit here, which is lovely.
Yeah.
And you get to Paris and UK and Germany takes a lot of shows, but sometimes you just can't.
We've been really
Do
looking
those
forward
and-
to going back to Copenhagen because we had such
Yes.
a nice time there last time. And
It's our Halloween. It's Halloween. We'll be the only ones celebrating Halloween there.
you going to dress up at all for Halloween there?
We thought about it, but since we haven't played there since 2007, I'm sure the people that come want to actually see us.
We go like, hey, this is Gwar. I wasn't paying for Gwar.
We were going to dress up as Stranger Things, those kids. She would have been a good 11,
I would have liked to do
but like I said, maybe after the show, maybe we'll have a Halloween party on our bus. Yeah. But
Hey.
here, we've been lucky to play Amsterdam quite often. Not this one. We played the North one, the Nord, right?
that. Paradiso Nord last time.
Yeah.
Also a beautiful venue.
And
Played-
Milkfeg a couple times before.
Love Milkfeg. We played Paradiso Nord in February. So we're lucky enough on this record. This is our second European tour, which is great.
You guys started off in 2000. Of course, I looked into your tour schedule and all the things you played. I mean, and this is a classic question, but I mean, I think it's still a valid question. Do you guys still like playing after all this time in tour?
Love playing. That's the thing we like the most.
It's nice when we have a new album, we add songs to our set list and just to see how they settle in with the old songs. And I don't know, we're still happy to play the old songs too. I mean, every night.
But I mean, your last album was 2015, September 2015 release, on top of my mind. So it's actually for you guys, it's probably already an old record because first you write the record, you record the record, then you release the record, then you tour the record, and then by the time you play it, it's already 3 years old.
I'd say by the time we're half. Like usually we have about a 2-year span on a record, and so right now we're sort of in the middle of it. So I think this is kind of like a real sweet spot where some of the uncomfortable feelings we might have had with it for a while are gone, and I think we're in a really just in an enjoyment of it. And then near the end of it, it starts to fade a little bit, and that's when you know you have to stop and write another record. But right now we're having a massive love affair with it.
Do you guys actually write stuff while you're on the road?
No. Fuck no.
No. We usually wait till we're at home.
There's no inspiration on the road? Or I mean, you were really pretty clear about this.
Yeah, I mean, there is, but not at the moment. Like, it's just such a different sort of animal. And it's just so loud and circusy that you can't really hear yourself. And honestly, we need to kind of be in stasis, you know? Like, just be able to just sit for a minute and then let your thoughts come to you and not be doing this. This stuff's amazing. And it's inspirational in certain things, and playing live is exciting and it tickles us, but it doesn't necessarily move us to like write.
So for this,
Other bands can, but we can't.
so let me get this straight. For this record, the band is in its prime.
I think we're the best we've ever been.
Yeah.
It's all downhill
so
from
too.
here. Literally tonight will be the best show. Sorry, Denmark.
So this leads me to my next
You said
question.
that
Would you?
intelligently.
Oh, I can be fucking intelligent, man.
You're so messy.
Yeah, I know. Fucking hell. So I was wondering, do you guys? I mean, you have your own label. Did you ever think of releasing a live album?
No. I don't know. Do people do that? I mean, I never really liked live records. Not really. I like bootlegs.
I like bootlegs too.
So let me record it. I'll bring out a bootleg.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you just go watch YouTube. You just find your favorite things.
I mean, it will probably take somebody just recording it and telling us they can put it out. as opposed to us thinking about it. It would actually happen that way more so than
Honestly,
us.
live records were so manufactured anyway. Like I thought they're phony, and so that's why bootlegs were so interesting. The better bootlegs
Yeah.
was just like, dang. Even though it sounds kind of odd, it was like the energy of an actual show. Live records, I was like, that is straight up so fake. They just pumped in the audience.
Well, that was only due to Kiss Alive 1, I guess.
Oh, yeah, that is not very.
I used to work at a couple of record labels, and I know what happens behind the scene. And they're like, "All right, we have to redo all the bass
No,
parts."
it's totally us live. I just redid the vocals, the bass. We did some drum samples. We pumped in a little more audience. We took out when the singer said that stupid shit.
That's actually what happened with Kiss Alive. I mean, they were so good live that everybody said, well, you got to see that band. And then they were like, you're so good live, we got to record this shit. And then they listened back and they were like, this is probably the worst live band ever.
To be fair, it's tough to get energy of a live show into like a songscape like that. But live records now, I mean,
Yeah.
no.
Okay,
Just go YouTube live stuff. You'll see it.
Yeah,
That's
it's all on
done.
YouTube. They're out.
Do you actually mind? Do you actually mind that it's on YouTube?
I mean, no, because if we did, then I don't know what we'd do about it.
Take it off.
Yeah.
One call's enough, one email's enough, and it's down.
Not really. I feel like people like. No, we don't care.
I feel like if we want to put it out, we want to make it the best that we can do. But if other people just put their cameras and put that on YouTube, then that's
we
just
don't.
their.
We really aren't bothered by that. Like they know what's actually from us, and if people want to kind of show stuff from us, then right on. If you're looking for it, it's there. That's cool.
Because we, as fans of other bands, do the same thing. We look at their live shows and,
Yeah.
you know.
I think it's cool.
Yeah, we're fine.
I'm trying to think why I would have a problem with it, but I don't.
Let me check the
I'll tell
shot
you
once
what I-
more. Hold on.
I'll tell you what I definitely have a problem with, and I think it doesn't matter if we just saw Lush recently, who are amazing, and got back together. And
Yeah, I didn't know they were
she
playing.
is so good. We saw them a couple times.
Yeah.
Mickey's a sweetheart. She said it best. Like, I don't mind if you videotape, go for it, like with your cameras and stuff like that, but don't put them up in the air and block people's. Like that is so frustrating. I mean, I was just at a Radiohead show in Los Angeles. They played this tiny place called the Shrine, and everybody was so excited, couldn't wait. And this dude like walked right up, just put the phone up, and I was just like, no way. Like he was blocking all these people's views, and I just kept cutting in front of him, and he was like, "What?" He obviously got really mad at me. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "What do you think I'm doing? I'm stopping you from being an asshole."
Did you see that show where Corey Taylor from Slipknot was actually addressing the crowd and somebody was filming straight in his face and he just slapped the phone out of his hand and said, you should pay attention when I'm talking?
Yeah.
I don't-
didn't see that.
I
but-
don't. Like I said, you don't need to pay attention to when we're talking. I just don't block other people's view
Yeah.
from it.
I mean, it is a little disheartening when we're playing and you just see screens looking up at you, not people.
I guess it'd be better than them aiming them and then just looking at their screens down
Yeah.
here.
At least they're not playing games.
Yeah, like I said, do whatever you want. I don't care, but like just don't get in other people's enjoyment.
You guys started your own label. Why is that?
We kind of worked with we had a very small. We were like no. We were on a very small label in the States anyway, and so
You guys were signed to Warner. Sorry, Jerry.
worldwide, but in the States we were on a label called Dangerbird. Dangerbird licensed to Warner. So after our contract was done, and we always sort of existed without like a big committee. Like nobody ever got involved with us. It was always pretty much us, and the people that we worked with were part of our management team that we love, and they're like family. And so these are the people that we worked with. And so by the time it came to releasing a record, we just couldn't fathom like what would we like. We have everything.
It just felt like a natural progression
Yeah.
from being on a small label and us always working together. And then it felt like when our contract is up with them, why not do it ourselves?
Like I don't know what we would.
I
I don't know what we would offer someone, and I don't know what they could offer us. Does that make
if
sense?
we were to go to a bigger label,
No.
that's not something that we ever thought of. We just thought, hey, we've been doing it this way for so long in a small capacity.
Why don't
we
we
can
just
handle
keep it
this, yeah.
going?
I'm so glad actually that you guys do this because we had a bunch of interviews last week in Amsterdam. There was this Amsterdam dance event. I think 2,000 DJs from all over the world entering the city, playing gigs everywhere. And what they do is all those DJs, they start their own label, sign other DJs, maybe for 2 songs, they don't care. release the music. They don't care if people share their music. They don't care if people play it anywhere. They don't care if people film anything and put it online. They just go like, distribute your stuff. The more people that watch me, the better it is, the more gigs I get. So I'm happy. And I always go like, well, there's a lot to learn from those people because they are incredibly successful. Young people flock to their gigs. And when I look at, and I'm an old guy, I mean, if I look at the record industry, like the classic record industry, I go like, you guys got so much to learn from these DJs and these young kids.
I mean, it is an interesting thing. The thing is with us is when we started making records, and so we were 2005, so this universe was already still existing, so we don't know any other way. So we sharing music and stuff like that, it's like, go for it. I mean, it's not like someone else is going to play you, you know? I think it's nice, you know?
Let's talk some more about the music because you guys are getting freezing. It's cold outside. It was my choice to go outside.
It's nice out here. We like
Nice
it.
out here. Well, then I'm freezing.
Are you cold? Do you want my jacket?
No, man. Please keep your clothes on.
I do have other clothes on.
The current video, which is also a nice thing. Video used to be a big thing, and now it's like a nice thing to have on YouTube.
Yeah.
Probably right.
Yes.
And it's still a great art form as well.
It is. I love that art form. Yeah. And I feel like it is a significant thing, not like it used to be, but in a different sort of way. It's like, it's just something really, it reaches a different kind of headspace, you know? And people, it's not necessarily, unless you do something kind of a crazy, insane video where the video is more popular than your band or the song, you know what I mean? Like some crazy thing where somebody jumps from a roof to another thing. Usually it's like it's just something to really give people that pay attention to you for a while, and the people that are interested in you love seeing those things, and it's, for us, it's also the only real collaboration that we can ever have with somebody. As far as the music's really important to us, and the artwork of our records, and the live shows, all that stuff. But a video is literally our offering is just the music. And we get to see someone else completely take it and create something brand new that would never have come from us. Does that make sense?
All the videos for this album, at least, are very cinematic. I love that.
It's because we just choose the people. We did this. Mark Pellington, who's brilliant, he's done a lot of videos. Oh man, his list is insane. He did our first one, Nightlight, and our friend Susie Volchek, who's done a lot of our videos, she did the one with Nikki Circadian Rhythm, which is so awesome.
Talking about that song. Of course, I delved into it. It's like when I read it, I was like, wow, why write a song about circadian rhythm, man?
Why not write a song about circadian rhythm? When it's off, you'll know. It's more of a sort of like a metaphor for a friend of ours, though. Really, the song's about a friend of ours, really good friend of Nikki's. Actually, all of us, really.
Yeah, and he passed away in the past year or 2 years now. But it was an homage to him, and he's still a very important part of our lives. He was such an important part of the band. He was always there for us, and there's a void without him there. So
Big
it is
time.
nice to
It's one of those
remember him every night.
One of those awful situations that you find yourself getting into the more and more you live, is you out of nowhere a friend of yours gets sick and in a year's time passes away, and it's just like, man. And so making this record, that was probably the most profound thing that happened. So it was great that
It was during the making of the record, even.
probably a little before that.
Yeah. I mean, it was just all very sudden, and it definitely hit hard because he was such an integral part of our friendship and our close knit.
Christoph, his name.
Yeah.
So it spawned great art, at least. I mean, great emotions spawned great art. In this case,
So I think he thinks so. I can
I
imagine
think
him
he would
going,
like it.
"It's all right." He's the greatest.
awesome. Of course, I delved into what it was because I didn't understand it at first. I'm not a natural born speaker, so I had to delve into it. And the fun thing was that what struck me is that the first person ever to write about the Carthaginian rhythm was Androsthenes, who was a captain for Alexander the Great.
And was he talking about it as a way to keep healthy or a way
No.
to travel?
He was talking about how he noticed that a certain tree
it existed.
grew, yeah, exactly, in a certain point of time.
Jet lag is, I guess that's part of how it kind of got in the song. It's just the idea of circadian rhythm is where you're at your most natural. How do you exist fully? And honestly, if you experience jet lag, and with that song, it's like a jet lag without jet lag. It's just literally when everything's normal and it's completely off, and there's nothing you can do about it because it's so important to be a part of it. You know what I mean? So yeah.
It's also beautiful, I think, that somebody like, because Alexander the Great was, I think, 200 before Christ at least. 2,500 years later, circles around again, and I find this because you wrote a song about it.
All of those people even figured it. I mean, people were so smart from day one almost. It's pretty insane.
They must have cursed a lot though there.
Oh, because they're highly intelligent, really, really messy. The early man was really, really messy, cursed constantly, and talked to themselves all day long.
Hey, let's get back to more music. Another song that you mentioned already, Nightlight. Loved it. Very bloody though.
Yeah. Nightlight's about how easy it is to make people terrified of you. Doesn't take much. It's pretty apropos for nowadays.
Weren't you scared when you saw the video? I was like, wow, is this? Yeah.
It was so interesting because we didn't know what to expect. We just kind of put it in Mark Bellington's hands, and we're like, we feel like you have a lot of passion for this, and we know it's going to turn out. We knew he was going to do a great job, so it was just like seeing that was. I mean, because we were only at a small portion of the shoot,
which is our favorite thing to do, is not be in them at all.
Yeah.
That's why our favorite video is Dots and Dashes.
So much we had no idea what was happening. That it was great to just have that trust in someone.
And then you must have been. I mean, if the music works so well with the imagery, it must have been like goosebumps when you look at it.
Well, we kind of knew it was going to be crazy. You know, when people give you like a little like sheet that's going to sort of explain to you what this thing's going to be, and you always hope that, I mean, we've been lucky because the people that we choose really do stay to what they want, but you again want to make sure that when it comes down to it, they don't chicken out or something like that and get a little more soft or something like that. And you couldn't describe this thing. The way he described it was pretty much how it happened. Like the words of how it went down is just so bizarre.
Yeah.
So we drove up from LA to Vegas in the morning, went to this guy's house, crazy, bizarro, nutball house.
I thought it was like a brothel or something. Like.
Well, I think that's shot somewhere else too, but we were only involved in this weird house. I sang in front of some drapes for a little while the actress Meg Steele, she was in different wigs running around, falling into things, came over and started clapping, and then it was the chaos and insanity, and then we left and went home to LA.
All in one day.
All in one day. Which is, what's 4.5 hours from here?
Well, Paris.
Paris, yeah. It's like just going to Paris, shoot something for 2 hours and coming back. Yeah, I don't know why. We should have stayed there. And then we were happy because we saw a little bit of the insanity, and then we could kind of tell from how he was as a director and how it was all going down that this thing was going to be insane. And it was insane.
Yeah.
I love it.
A thing
a lot
that
going on.
there is. Hell yeah.
You can watch it a lot and see new things too. And I'm a big fan of fever dreamy, smeary stuff that doesn't overdo
I
it.
thought there were like actually 4 storylines in one video.
More. I mean, he's got a whole thing where there's 3 actual universes, and it's in there.
We're still trying to figure it out.
No, but I think there's no figuring it out. I think that's the thing is like it just what's happening to you when you see it? That's what's happening then.
This is my next question. What's happening to you when you listen to the lyrics? Because, I mean, everybody has a different, probably, interpretation of your lyrics. I saw online that a couple of people have questions about your songs. Like, yeah, and there was one guy who was, let's wave to the band, yeah, of course. One guy started this on a thread, and you were on, you can ask us anything. Last question, and you guys were gone already, so there wasn't an answer found. 3 Seed, what's the song about? And then other people were like, yeah, I tried to find out what that song was, and actually I grabbed you in Portland and asked you, and I didn't get an answer, so I was like, wow.
I did answer that on Reddit. Well, I didn't say exactly what the song was about. Well, I guess I did. I said it was about three completely different scenarios, and literally landing in the same exact spot. That's what it's about.
That's enough for the people who are really into the song, you think?
Yeah. I mean, what else do you want to know? You don't know me. You want me to tell you who they are? You want to give their addresses?
I can do that.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
And well,
are you into people?
Just the idea of like, no matter what, every time you think you've kind of come out and turned a corner, and somehow you've landed in the same damn spot, and just being stuck and how frustrating that is, and that's what it pretty much is about. With other people. 3 Seed though is a reference to one of them, because one of them is a triplet, And so she's the third.
Dun, dun, dun.
She's the third of the triplets. That's all I'm giving you.
All right, the walrus is Paul, people.
She doesn't even know.
Hey, Lazy Eye, 21 million plays on Spotify. That's fucking mind-blowing.
Yeah, I guess.
That's the first we're hearing. that.
Yeah, never didn't know that. Is that a lot? I don't know. Is that? That's great. My dad has a lot of free time.
You have 21 million dads, probably.
I do.
Come on, really? You are surprised that you have so many plays, huh?
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. That's really lovely. It's amazing. We don't know
I think
numbers.
I signed up for Spotify, but I haven't actually.
I have Spotify. It's awesome.
Done it.
Oh my God. I have a Halloween playlist
I'll
right
get
now.
to it. Yeah. Oh, you do?
Sonos.
Maybe you should.
We love Sonos. Everyone get a Sonos.
Those Sonos
They're
things.
awesome.
Oh, it changed my life. You can have a Spotify radio thing playing in the bathroom. You can have, like the Halloween soundtrack, and it follows. And it's so awesome. Do you have
Like,
that as well?
actually, I can't afford Sonos, man. I'm a journalist.
21 million downloads.
You get your stuff for free.
I guess we're gonna have to make a phone call to Spotify.
Do you actually like this, where the music is going? I mean, of course, you did say like in 2000 stuff was the same, but it did evolve a lot, right? Do you like where the music industry is going and how people use and actually listen to music?
I don't really know about how the music industry, because honestly, we've never really been too much of a part of it.
You are, yeah, you're right.
Well, we bands and making music stuff, but like as far as how the industry thrives,
I think it's still shifting. Like, we don't know exactly what's happening now, because I do think it's important to be able to pay musicians so that they can keep doing that, because you don't want, if musicians all had full-time jobs, then they wouldn't be able to tour and get out.
Sure.
So it's important to find a way to get
go to shows and try and definitely
to get money to the actual artists. So I think it's still shifting, and I do think more money still needs to get to, especially younger artists, where it's so fragile.
Well, in the States for
beginning.
sure, because some countries have, these.
Yeah,
These,
in
if
the
you're an
US,
artist, you
there's
get
no supplemental
Exactly.
income from the government, so it is really hard to start nowadays if you're a musician. So
Yeah, I wouldn't even know how you would start it, but
But also, this is an analogy. Like back in the 60s when the small rock band started, the rock and roll band started, the jazz orchestra couldn't tour because there were like 15 people. It was very expensive. Then a 4-man band or a 3-man band, 3-person band stood up, and they could play for cheaper. They would just get in a van, play, and all the big orchestras will go like, you guys are fucking robbing our money because you can play anywhere. And now basically we're in the same situation with the DJs. They just get their laptop and they go over the world, and sometimes they get like crazy amounts of money.
yeah, I guess people brought up like
History repeating?
people have talked about electronic music versus bands for so long, and I feel like I don't know why are they competing with each other? They're not the same thing. Like when
Is it even a competition?
No,
I've
no.
never thought of.
I never thought about it before. I think of it as such a different experience, and DJ and also sort of writing off DJs too as like sure you have people who don't do anything and hit a button, it's just a big party, who cares? And then you have people who are so awesome, like oh my god. Oh.
Well, also just because they hit a button at a show doesn't mean they haven't spent years researching and coming to that. But it is amazing when you can see things happening in a live format with DJs too, though. It's all totally different. And
Wait, what's his name? I've just said this before, and I can't remember his name. And it drives me. It's gonna drive me crazy. I love this guy. He's just electronic. He does like Carla played drums with him, and Tom York did songs with him, and he's gonna make me crazy.
Skrillex?
Not Skrillex.
An older DJ?
Well, it's just like an electronic sort of scene. Like there's just so much. God, hold on a second.
Where's he from? Is he from the States or from Europe? He's from the States.
And his name is.
LCD Sound System?
No, that's a band. Here we go. We went to go see.
you'll think of it.
Keep going.
We've never felt like what you were saying with competition between DJs and bands. We've never
We've
really.
heard that a
We
million
don't
times.
feel competition between other bands because we feel like we're all sort of in this together. And like,
I guess basically our universe exists. Like we don't really exist in a way where we're consumed with what our space affects the world. You know, we're a part of a little universe, and and there's some people that like to swim in it, and that's the universe we're involved in. How it batters up against other people, it's totally irrelevant to us. Like, we're just happy to be there at all.
Fully agree. Hey, I was delving into your Twitter feed and your Facebook, and I couldn't find a lot of stuff that I did. You know him?
No,
No.
we,
Yeah, I know.
Well, there's some hidden messages in your Twitter feeds as well that I didn't understand. Acoustic BRI ... N ... Denver ... _B.
Oh, those are our
So
names.
we sign our name
Those are our names.
at the end. So if it says N, it's me.
Here, I'll show you
If
right
it's
now.
Nikki,
Why don't you read
if-
that?
There you go.
Oh yeah, I have to add something.
Wait, hold on a second. I gotta find him.
But we sign so people know it's from us. So.
I was like, and nobody asks what this means. Am I the only one who doesn't get it?
At the top of at top of Instagram, there's
Flying
a little.
Lotus.
Never heard of him or her.
Awesome. He's amazing. Flying Lotus. Yeah, stuff
Good.
like that.
Have to edit that again. Okay. Thanks. I'm Flying Lotus.
Flying Lotus.
Yeah.
Hey, to wrap this up, what holds the future for you guys in the near future? Because you're touring in South America. I saw Lollapalooza,
Yeah.
Chile, Argentina. Nice fucking gigs.
South America, it's been a long time coming. The closest we've come to it really is Mexico City. And that's literally, it's space-wise, as close as we've got. And we very aware of just response from people throughout so many of the countries, and wanting us to come down and play, and I'm just so happy that it's actually happening. And we also are very aware that no, this isn't just the one deal. This hopefully is the beginning of coming down there often.
It's amazing there.
I can't wait. I can't
we
wait to play
can't
those
wait.
shows. This
Yeah.
is usually on the tours. There's some big thing that happens to us that's new, and this seems like it's the one.
Lollapalooza, South America.
Yes, yeah, we're like, there it is. There's the thing that all of a sudden puts a into the tour. You know.
Awesome. Hey, will there be new?
This is right now.
Thank you, man. For me, it is. Will there be new music anytime soon?
Eventually, not now. It's going to take us a little while to get through this record still. We still like it too much to write music because then it would just be too similar. We have to kind of get rid of it.
But don't you have a planning? Like, after the tour, there's there's no small hiatus, and then you go writing.
I mean, we finish.
That's what usually happens, but there's never a plan to have that happen, but that's what usually happens.
Basically, you know when you're done. Like, I think we know when we're done, and then after that, you just stop. And then literally hope songs come to you. And if they don't, then you just wait till they do. I mean, people don't need a record. They'll get a record from us when we have one, you know? If it's, usually it's been every 3 years, just because they're due to touring and literally after we end up writing. But honestly, if it takes us 5, it'll take us 5. You don't want a crappy one. You want us to have something decent.
It would be great to see you guys back here.
We will be back here.
We'll be back.
We'll be back here.
We'll be back.
Oh, will. Yeah. We might live here, depending on the
Yeah, it's so
presidency. I
nice.
think
I
we're going to
love
be
it.
in good shape.
A lot of artists actually lived here in Amsterdam for a while. A lot of people from, especially from LA.
Amsterdam is really, it's multicultural. It's just such a huge. I always discuss it like a spaceport, like Star Wars, Mos Eisley, because if you're standing in the middle of the city, and if you're not reading the Dutch on the walls, just sit there and try and tell me where you are, because everybody has their own language. Everybody from everywhere is speaking in their tongue, and it's like Mos Eisley. It's just it's so great. It's so great.
It's great. Yeah. I mean,
She thinks it's okay. She likes.
I love going to the museums here.
She likes
and I
toasties.
love the architecture. I love toasties.
Toasties.
We had a
That little place,
sandwich there.
Toasties.
Shout out to Toasties.
Shout out to Toasties for staying open late yesterday.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, man.